Right, what's happening? It's that time again. It's story time now. We're going to delve into a story now, right? And all names and locations have been changed for obvious reasons, yeah. And what I want to say is sometimes, right, beef doesn't have to start over graft or anything mad. It doesn't have to be nothing mad. It can be something just so simple that's been took out of context or bit of disrespect with lies to it, you know what I mean? And it depends who to relate it to and what to do and what to do and what to do. But sometimes you can just pick on the wrong person thinking they're defenseless, right? And you see that person who you're picking on thinking they're on one with your mates and that, right? Now, when I say picking on, I mean spare the moment, told you funny. Yeah, oh my God, listen to me now. You've got to respect people, right? Because you don't know who you're talking to, right? And you see this story that's coming in now, right? It's a tale of disrespect and lies. What just goes absolutely over the top, all in, right? And it all starts off by stupidity, by little blurts being stupid because they're related to people who are big. Do you know what I mean? Now, it's going to go back to years ago when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I used to hang out with some lad called Mikey. Names have been changed, obviously, right now. Mikey was a boxer, proper handy kid and all. He was the same age as me. And we used to just get along. And now, when we were kids, his ma's called Pauline, right? And she used to like have bouncy castles, you know, like on the estate and all that. She'd have bouncy castles and, you know, they had a bit of dog, but they weren't that them type of people who were like all minge badge and that, they were boss. So the ma, Pauline, right, she was proper good to everyone in the estate, and I mean proper good to them, like, you know, like kids who had none, she'd feed them all. Yeah, lad, have a butty, or yeah, lad, do you want a pot of noodles, Joe? Not just little things like that, but little things like that, they count and you remember them, do you know what I mean? She was just always like that. Now, Mikey had a brother, right, they were twins, and they were both bangers, do you know what I mean? They were both proper sound, right? Craig and Mikey, they were called, and the ma was Pauline. So this is going to be a story about them, right? And I'm going to go into it a little bit because it's, you know, you need to understand that you don't know who you're talking to, you don't know who you're messing with right now. Them two, the bangers, right? But I wouldn't really say they were proper gangsters, but they were bangers, you know what I mean? They're anti lads, and you know what I mean? When you start messing with people's family and all that, it brings out the worst in people right now. This is a story that you know what, it could have just been easily avoided, but it just escalates, and then everyone gets dragged into it, and firms are getting dragged into it, and this, that, phone calls, what, this, that, and it's about disrespect and lies. So just kick back now, right? Get your J's ready, get your berries ready, get everything you're doing ready, right? And just brace yourself for this, because this is going to be a long one, because I'm going to go into one for you, right? I'm just going to tell you how it is. There's going to be a lot of like things I'm trying to get off my chest, and it's more about morals and stuff like that as well. It's action packed, but it's action packed in a way where you don't want it to be action packed. You see what I'm saying? It didn't need to be like that, but unfortunately, it was like that. And this is how it goes down, right? So brace yourself. We are coming in heavy. We are coming in hard. Now I'm going to introduce you to this family, right? Now, like I've just said, the Pauline was the ma. She was proper Santa. She was Santa to all the kids, like bounce castles, little parties on the estate, you know, feeding the poor kids. Not the poor kids, but you know, just, you know, like where you get kids on the estate who are just allowed out until about 11 bells, and you're like, how they just rolling around. Well, she was like dead maternal and proper Santa and all that. And the dad had smashed it. So they had dough, you know, like they had dough, the family had dough. They like, not like the richest on the estate, but you know, they had money and all that. And they weren't minge bags, they were proper sound right now. Mikey and Craig, the twins, and they're both my age, but they went to different schools, right? Like I said, they're both boxers, but they started swerving, they swerved it young, and then ended up on the weed and all that, and then they both basically just fell off over time. Now, Mikey moved out, he was about 19 when he moved out, and he met a bird down south and moved there, do you know what I mean? But they were always arguing, and he had a kid, and he wouldn't let him see him, you know, and all this and all this and all that. So he started going on his own down south, but it just didn't work. He ended up like getting nicked for domestic violence and all that, which is, I don't agree in it, but you know, it is what it is. It's not my business. I don't know what happens or whether it was like she's 3 bits on and all that. Like, you know, sometimes people do that, don't they? So he ended up in jail, right? And when he was in jail, he got on the bobby, which is just absolutely unreal to think that he'd do that, you know what I mean? So he's got on the bobby and he's ended up back in his ma's about 12 years later. Right now, Craig, he stayed at home all his life and he was with his ma all the way, do you know what I mean? And rumour has it, because I didn't see them for a while. Well, I haven't seen them for a while, and I'll tell you why now, because it's a bit of a mad one. You know, these were my mates on in, and regarded highly of them. I thought they were proper both sides and all that, and you know, they did things for me and that. But you know, back in the day when I was hanging out with them and that, they could both fight me because they were both boxers. Do you know what I mean? But you know, sometimes, you know, we overgrow people and we outgrow them, don't we? And that's going to come to a later point in that, right? So he's moved back to his mum's about 12 years later, and Craig stayed at home, right? And he was on the piss and all that, just non-stop on the berries all the time. Now, these two kids, they still live in the 90s, you know what I mean? I think they can have a go, but it's not like it used to be able to, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I've seen it so many times over the years, and I've tried it out and I've, paid them visits and all that, but they always try to dominate me, even as I was old and all that. So rather than just putting them both clean out, just distance myself a little bit from them. Here's an example why, right? This is only about a year ago. A year ago, I'm in the car with my mate, right? And he doesn't even know them, so I'm flying down the road and I see Craig. So does a bouncer and flies back, jumps out the car, and I'm like, lad, what's happening, what's happening? So he turns around and I goes over to him. Now listen, this is all good and all good, but no, as I'm talking to him, he's swaying like from side to side. He can't keep eye contact. You know what I mean? But that's okay. It's not my business. I've only got his best interests at heart. So as I'm talking to him, he ends up walking back over to the car. Now my mate's in the car, right? He's in the passenger. He's got the window down, just doing what he's doing, right? So my mate's like, what's happening, mate? What's happening? Now, for some weird reason, right, he puts his hands on the back of my neck. Like trying to dominate me human behaviour. And he's got his fingers round me, like round my neck, like, like what I do to my kids, or you do to the kids when you're walking with them, because they're only little, but like that. So I've shrugged him off and been like, lad, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, oh lad, fucking hell, I'm only having a laugh, you know what I mean? But he's not, he's trying to dominate me with body language. And, my mate in the car, he's just looking as if to say, what the fuck's he doing there? Why isn't he being put clean out? So I'm like, lad, what are you playing at, lad? And he's like, oh lad, fucking hell, I'm only messing, lad, I'm only being sound, your bell ends. Now, listen, this kid's out of touch with reality, do you know what I mean? Even if I half slapped him, he just falls in half. The kid can't even stand up properly. So, do you know what? I just cuts it short, and I'm like, lad, I'm going to have to go, lad. So I give him a hug and all that, gets in the car, and just gets off, right? Now, they were fresh in my mind, because I'd only just seen Craig, right? And I thought, I wonder how Mikey's doing in his mind and all that, because the dad died, right? And the dad was all the money, and, must have hit the mad and all that, but the dad didn't die until, like, a few years ago, when, like, the dad died, and they both went on mad, like, went down different patches. It weren't even like that. So the dad died, and I know that, but he still had a bit of dough left. Now, whether the dough was, like, limited, or whether he still had dough coming in, I don't really know that, but, fucking hell, mate, I can only imagine what's going on in that household, do you know what I mean? Because, when you've got addicts in the household, you've got people with, like, on the bevies and all that, and, she's getting on, she's old now, do you know what I mean? So I can just imagine the shit that's going on, but, like I said, it's not my business, and, the family's had a hard time, so I thought, I'll go and pay them a visit. When I seen him, it must have been about 6 weeks after I seen him in the street, you know what I mean? So I goes to the house and all that, and knocks on the door. Now Pauline was on, she's like, hiya lad, proper boss, was giving her a hug and all that. So Mikey's come out, he's like, lad, what's on? Like, fucking hell, what's on? And you can just tell he's bladdered, you know what I mean? So I'm like, where's Craig? He's like, he's upstairs. So she says, go up to him. So I walk upstairs, like, I should have seen the state of his room, you know what I mean? And I mean, like, lads, there's just cans everywhere, just like, look, no, look like, have you ever seen that program, Hoarders? Now listen, our house is lovely, proper pristine and all that, the living room, the kitchen, it's always been like that. But that room, mate, it just looked like fucking Hoarders, mate. It looked like fucking Chernobyl. It looked like a proper disaster. Do you know, do you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what's that? He's just sitting on the chair, just swagged off his bar, and just thought, do you know what, so I'll just shut the door and left him to it, right? But he's just not even on air to him. So comes back downstairs, sitting in the living room, and, Mikey's sound, he's buried in that, but he's got a tolerance to it because he's a pisshead, yeah? So the Pauline, it's all there, it's all proper sound, everything's proper sound and that, right? And it was good to see them, it was proper good to see them, so I was happy I did that, and I felt better. So after about an hour, he comes downstairs, and he's like, hello lads, like as if he was proper, like, snapped out of it. See, on Trainspotting where he was like, like, he just done that, so he comes downstairs, and I'm talking to him, we're like, yeah, so I ended up staying for about another 45 minutes and all that, so I've been there for about 2 hours, and that's enough. I'm happy now, do you know what I mean? I'm happy now, so, I'm glad we had a catch up and all that, we're all mates and this and that, so I get Mikey's new number off him, because I had his number for a while, because I change my number all the time, and, whatever he's doing, probably, sticking his phone in cashies for bevies and all that, do you know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that, live how you live, it's not my business, but that's probably what's been going on, do you know what I'm saying? So about 2 weeks has gone past since I've seen him, right, and Mikey's texting me and texting him back, not all the time, just random now and again, do you know what I mean, talking about the old days, and, I like these lads, you know what I mean, they've had a bit of a downfall in life, but if there's anything I can do to help them, then I will. Now, I'm not going to give them food, but I'll give them the cooker to make their own food, you know what I mean, if they come good, and, and they can, and whatever they're doing, so, that's where I'm at with it. I want to help them because, like I said, the mad helped me when I was a kid and all that, not like feeding me, but, she's just one of them mads where you like being in the house, you like staying over, and, the dad's all computer, you know what I mean? It was boss being around and all that, and I'll never forget that, because you always got to remember where you come from, do you know what I'm saying? And like I say all the time, the people you meet on the way up are the same people you meet on the way back down, right? Now, these are both down and out now, like, if I didn't know them, would I bother with them? No, I wouldn't bother with them, do you know, only because the stereotypical, I just wouldn't be arsed with them, right? So I get a phone call, and it's this kid, right? And this kid who gave me the phone call, he's my good mate. He's a very good mate. And he goes to me, lad, do you know that Mikey and Craig from such and such? And I'm like, yeah, why? He went, lad, they just robbed Annie and Steve. I'm like, shut up, you tit. He's like, lad, they have. I said, what for? He went, the limo you give them. I said, Them two just robbed Andy and Steve for the limo I gave them. Now, that doesn't sound right to me, that lad. He's going, lad, it is right, because they're both in mine now, and they've been absolutely battered, and they've been robbed for that limo they got off you. And I'm like, lad, that can't be right. Put them on the phone now. So this kid gets on the phone, and he's saying, what's just happened there? He went, lad, them two kids have come over the boxes, aren't they? You know, like as if they're not on the bobby and they're not a pisser, you know, like the boxers and that. Now, obviously, if you're a boxer and you've been boxing, you never forget it. You still know how to throw a dig and all that. So if you come up against someone who hasn't got a fucking clue, and they are only young, not young, but they're young, then they're going to just drop them straight away, one dig, aren't they? That's just how it is, you see what I'm saying? Now, these kids are like skinny and all like that, they've got a bit of a build, it's like natural build, they don't go to the gym, but still like alright lads. I'm not saying that they're hench or like that, but they've got an alright build on them, and you know, if they catch you, and you're not a boxer, they are probably going to drop you, aren't they? So battered them like these bastards. He went, yeah, I said, what do you mean? He went, lad, they come to the car, and as we were getting in the car, they both just battered the pavement and took all them off us, and I'm thinking, none of them even sniff limo, and they wouldn't know where to spin it. So it just doesn't sit right with me. It's not sitting right with me. Do you know what I mean? Now, you know, if the kids are being battered and they're sitting in my mate's house, now one of them is my mate's brother and one of them is my other mate's brother, so it's like a little intertwined. Do you know what I mean? Now, my mates, who these little brothers are, they will absolutely nap the pair of them. They will nap Mikey and Craig and fucking absolutely give it to them without any hesitation and without a question or without a doubt. There's absolutely no way. Them two kids, right, will go in the back of the boot that fast. It's a shame. But I'm not really buying it. Now, you know that might sound, I'm not doubting no one, but it just doesn't seem right to me. It's not sitting right, because I know these have known their whole lives. And that's not their game. That's not their game. They're not like that. Like I said, they're not gangsters. They used to be able to have a go, but they're not gangsters. They're going to start ripping fucking kids out of cars and taking out them. There's got to be more to it, and I don't know what it is, but I'm going to have to give them a ring, aren't I? Some of my mates are saying, lad, you're going to have to stand on with us, you know, it was your limo and all that, you're going to have to stand on. I'm like, lad, what are you, hang on a minute. And he goes, yeah, do you know what, lad? Listen, regardless, no matter what, they're fucking getting it. They're proper getting it, lad. And this was your limo, lad, so you know what I mean? It's on you as well, which it is on me if it was, but let me just have a little what's going on, because these want me to just go all in, and I'm not going all in on these. You're fucking mad, aren't you? I don't know them. No, but how do you know them? They're only little bagheads. I'm like, lads, I go back a long way with them, but you go back. Lad, so what? I'm like, listen, lad, just let me see what I can do, and I'll sort it out, yeah, because I'm not being funny or nothing, lad. I know you're kids, and I know him, lad, and I know you don't chat shit and that, but I know you don't especially, lad, because you're good mates, lad. You're like me, more or less me in a circle of mates, you know what I mean? And he's going, and I said, lad, just calm down, right, and let me just deal with it. He's like, lads, it needs to be dealt with, lad. We need the limo back and all that. Oh, lads, I swear we'll do this. Lads, stop throwing threats around to me on the phone. I know they're not threatening me, but just let me deal with it, lad, yeah. So my head's gone. I'm just sitting there just thinking, nah, do you know what? And I just had a brandy and a few stripes. We were getting on the night, and now all this is just on me, and I'm like, what's happening here? What is happening here? So I told him I have to give Mikey a ring, aren't I? So I phoned him up, right, and the phone's ringing. Now listen, I'm calm. Listen, here's how calm I am. I'm as calm as I'm talking to you now, right? I'm not angry, I'm not shouting, I'm not doing nothing. I'm calm because in my head it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense now. Have they needed whatever they need? Has he needed Bobby? Or I don't know. I don't know whether, you know, the devil's just got a grip of him and made him do something and he's just followed him because whatever. I don't know, but I'm going to have to find out, aren't I? So I phoned him up. I'm like, what's happening? He's like, what's happening, mate? I said, lad, what happens? He went, what do you mean? I said, with these two kids. And he went, what do you mean, what happens? I said, well, what, you've battered them, haven't you, lads? And he's like, lad, it's got nothing to do with you. I'm like, what do you mean, it's got nothing to do with me? I said, how's it got nothing to do with me? He's going, lad, after everything we've been through, lad, you coming at me like this, you little rat's ass. I'm like, whoa, lad, slow your roll. I said, I'm not coming at you like none. I'm asking you something, lad. I said, fucking World War III's about to explode, lad, and it'll come to your door. Like, what are you fucking smoking, lad? I said, you just robbed me mate's little brothers, lad, and they want to fucking, the brothers want to kill you, lad. And you know what? They fucking will as well. And he's going to me, go and get them then, lad, go and get them. I'm like, lad, I'm not getting known. What are you on about, lad? Why are you even saying that to me, lad? Are you buried or something? And you know what? I'm wounded. I'm proper wounded. I can't even believe he's talking like that. But he's proper being cheeky to me. And he's going to me, lad, it's got nothing to do with you, lad. So don't make it your business, thinking you're on one. I'm like, lad, it is fucking to do with me. You just fucking robbed the lad. You're grafting for me, you stupid swat. And I'm you know what? I've started to proper fume now. Now, he's not saying he has, but he's not saying he hasn't. So I don't know what's going on, right? And he must have, mustn't he? He must have. And he's saying to me, it's not my business. How's that not my business, lad? How's it not my business, lad? And what do you mean? He's going, lad, it's not your business, so fuck off, you cheeky twat, and that's the bottom line. And I'm just thinking, who are you talking to, lad? So I'm fucking raging on the phone, right? And I mean raging on the phone. Lad, who are you talking to? And he's going to me, well, what, go and get who you want, lad. I'm not getting them, lad. They're getting themselves, lad. You've just wasted the little brothers, you stupid twat. Listen to me, lad. You were hard in 1990. Lad, you're no one now. You're fucking no one now. And I've had to tell him straight, right? And I can hear the man in the background because they must have been loud because on the man's like, the man just can't believe what he's hearing. And you know what? I'm devoed over it. I'm proper devil. He just buttons me. And I'm thinking, you cheeky, you cheat, you know what? Let them do what they're doing then. Let them do what they're doing then. What are we doing? In my head, I'm thinking, who do you think you're robbing like that? Like we used to rob anyone. So now about 45 minutes has gone past, right? And Leighton and Connor, they get on the phone to me now. Leighton and Connor, they're the older brothers, right? So Leighton's Anthony's older brother and Connor's Steve's older brother. So they're on the phone to me and they're like, listen lad. What I said, lad, I spoke to him and that. It's like, I'm what? I'm like, well, I don't know what to say, lad. Must have. I don't know, lads. Obviously he has done it, hasn't he? So like, sounds all in. I'm like, lads, I said, yeah, do me a favour before you do anything. He said, just come to mine, lad. So like, alright, sounds. So about another half an hour goes past and he turn up at mine, right? And you know what, we're just sitting there. Now listen, me, Lane and Connor were good mates, you know what I mean? And I can't stop them acting like, can I? You know, not because like I can't fight them, because I was wasted paid when I won one staying there. But the little brothers has been wasted, yeah? And let's not forget, I've been robbed as well. So, you know, it's only for an ounce. And, you know, I'm not even arsed about that. I just let it go for old times. Like if I could, just the favour to Pauline. But I don't know what's going to happen, but something bad's going to happen. So I'm just trying my best to try and smooth it over a bit. I know something's going to happen and I can't stop that from happening. But what I can do is I can try and ask them for a little favour, right? So, you know, she's an old woman and I'm telling them this and I grew up in it, and like that house, I grew up in that house and all that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sounds. I said to them, yeah, both of you, yeah, come and sit in the kitchen table. So I sit in the kitchen table, little brandy, little stipe and all that. I said, there's what I'm asking both of you, yeah. Number one, don't go to the house, yeah. They're like, all right, sound, lad. Two, don't stab them up or it'll proper end them, do you know what I mean? They're like, lad, I'm like, lad, come on, lad. I said, you know, lad, the periods was absolutely walk right through them, lad. I said, promise me, lad, you're not going to stab them up or proper do them. They're like, all right, well, I said, lad, they've already lost the dad, and it's more than Mara I'm asked about now, do you know what I mean? Because they've just been cheeky on the phone, but lad, the Mara, she's proper sound, and I'm telling them this. You know, I'm trying to get, like, tug at their heartstrings, do you know what I mean? I'm like, so what's we come to an arrangement, all right, lad, listen, just don't touch the gaff at all, just leave the gaff, do you know what I mean? Just sit them off and waste them, worst case, you know what I mean? So we all agreed on that now. Listen, this is me doing that family a favour that they'll never even know about, you know what I mean? And why I'm trying to do it also because they live in a semi-detached house right now. Next door, it's Mr. and Mrs. Walsh, they've lived there next door and they've lived there all their lives as well. And they're proper sound too, it's like a semi-detached, like I just said. And it's Pauline on one side and then the Walshes on the other side. Now, you know, you've got to understand, I know everyone in this estate, I grew up on the estate, fucking grew up there, do you know what I mean? Like, all my cousins know everyone in the estate as well, they used to come and stay with us and all that, so I'm devout, I don't really want nothing bad to happen, but, you know, on the flip side, you can't just go around robbing people, and they've wasted them, the two kids got wasted, you know what I mean, and the estate got wasted, so why did you need to waste them for what an ogle? It still doesn't make sense, but I've spoke to them on the phone, and I know they've done it, they must have done it, there's no way they haven't done it, so, you know what I mean, and they have given the kids a good hiding, so what was that for? Do you know what I mean? So let's not forget that when I get into the next part of it, yeah? So now Lane and Connor have bailed and then he rings me, he's like, lad, we need more bits, we need more lemon. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, because I forgot about that house, I got robbed, haven't I? With all the commotion and all that. So I'm like, who are you with? He's like, me, Steve and Tatty. I'm like, alright, sounds like, come to mine now. Tatty, he's like their mate and he's proper sound, listen to me, he's proper sound. So I'm like, yeah, come to mine then. 45 minutes goes past, right? And they knock at mine, three of them come to mine, right? Because I've been on the phone, so I've been busy, so I haven't managed to get nothing ready, I haven't managed to get the level or nothing for them, but, you know, they can just stand in it while I do it. So, Steve and Anthony knock, and Tatty stays in the car, so I'm like, lad, tell him to come in. They're like, lad, well, I said, lad, I'm going to be a minute, I haven't just got it ready, you have to come in a minute, I'll sort it. So like, alright, Sam, but like, lad, he doesn't want to come in. I'm like, what do you mean he doesn't want to come in? I'm not asking him, I'm fucking telling him, lad, tell him come out the car and come in the house. So he comes in, he's like, lad, he doesn't want it. I'm like, lad, what do you mean he doesn't want it? I'm fucking asking him. So goes out and pops me head in the car. I'm like, what are you doing? And like, Tatty's just sitting there proper peed up. So I'm like, lad, what's wrong? He's like, I'm like, come in. He's like, lad, I can't just stay here. I'm like, no, lad. I said, come in, fucking bang on in the street. So he comes in, but he's proper acting weird, like he's not engaging with me. He's just sitting on the couch in the living room and we're in the kitchen, and only me, and I'm sorting him out. So I'm like, what's wrong with him? I said, listen, lads, what's going on now? Listen, you've got to understand, he's been here loads of times, he's proper sound. You know what? The kid's my favourite out of all their little firm, but something's off. Tatty won't even look at me in the eye. So I'm like, what the fuck, like in the kitchen, like I said, what's up with him? It's like, oh, he's just stoned on a para, so I just starts laughing the whole, yeah, go on, Sam, fair enough, lad, fair enough. Gives him the lemo, and then that's it, he all gets off. So after getting off, I'm like, see you later, lads. So I give Steve a little fucking hug, do you know what I mean? And he see you later, I give him a hug. Tatty, come here, lad. So I have to give Tatty a hug, right? He looks at me, right, and just does this blink, you know, like a, like, but without the, you know, like as if to say that, and just closes his eyes, like for over the top long than what it should have been for a blink. And it just stuck in my head, it stuck in my head. And I'm thinking, why is he like that? And I'm thinking, all right, he is stoned, and that's all. I shrugged it off, I've come back in. That's it, gone, shrugged it off. Right now, I'm wounded over this, you know, I'm sitting there, and then one of my girl mates phones, she's like, what are you up to? I said, where are you? She's like, I'm in town. I said, I'm in mine. She's like, what are you doing? Because she was working in town. She said, well, what are you doing? She went, nothing. I said, yeah, I get to mine. So she went, do you want a scan? I said, yes. So she goes and gets a scan, and she brings a scan back. So I'm sitting there, I'm just telling her everything, you know what I mean? She's like, ah, fucking hell. No, she doesn't know none of them, she doesn't know any of them, she doesn't know anyone at all. I'm just getting it off my chest or someone, do you know what I mean? So she's like, ah, what are you going to do? I said, there's nothing I can do, kid. I said, I'm just in a bad place because they shouldn't have robbed him and they shouldn't have battered him. Do you know what I mean? Now, if they'd just robbed him and not battered him, then I could have sorted it. You know, I wouldn't have been happy. I'd have just said to them, you know what, keep it and don't ever fucking speak to me again, none of you little rats. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't have even hit on them, wouldn't have done nothing about it, do you know what I mean? Because that's the respect, that's just what it would have been. And she's like, I don't know, lad, I don't know. I said, now, what's going to happen? I said, you know, me other mates, they're just going to do, you know what I mean? But I haven't given them rules, listen, I'm not saying I've given them rules, but we've come to an agreement, you know, we've come to an agreement. So another day's gone past and it's all forgot about and all that. So, you know, I know it's stupid to think it, but I'm hoping that it just gets forgot about. But I know it's not going to get forgot about, right? And then next thing he gets a phone call, and it's my mate, and my mate lives on the estate. Well, he's not my mate, but I know him, do you know what I mean? And he's got me number because he gets, you know what I mean, he sees me for thinking that now and again. And he phoned me, he goes, lads, I'm like, what? He goes, what did you do? I said, what did I do? I said, what do you mean, what did I do? I said, no. He's going, lad, there was no need for that, you know, lads. I'm like, lads, what are you on about? And he went, lad, you put old Walsh's windows through, you put their windows through, and you burnt Mrs. Walsh's car. And I'm like, what? Lad, are you messing? I said, are you taking the piss? He's like, no. I said, you are. I said, no. I said, go round and show me now. He went, yeah, I'll phone you back in a minute. Phoned me on a WhatsApp video and showed me, literally, both houses' winds have gone through, and the car, but it's been amateurs who've done the car, because the car's only melted, it hasn't like gone up, you know, but you can clearly see where it's been burnt, you know, like, they've tried to melt it, but they haven't been able to. So, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'm just thinking, all the front windows cracked and all that. The Walshes are standing in the street, and then there's Plod on the way and all that. So when Plod have come, been like, bail. Right now, they must have been waiting for Plod for about an hour or so, because he said he went to shopping, as he's walked back, he's seen it all. And this was about 45 minutes ago, but before he phoned me. And I'm like, are you fucking messing? Are you so I'm fucking I am raiding, and I mean proper raiding. So phone's calling, I'm like, lad, what the f, you are rats? He's going, what do you mean? I'm like, lad. So it tells me, he's going, what, lad, nothing to do with me. I'm like, where's fucking Leighton, lad? He's going, he's out. I said, Leighton, I said, lad, what are you on about? So I'm trying to phone Leighton, there's no answer, trying to phone Leighton, no answer. I'm like, lad, you what the? He's going, lad, that way Leighton. He's going, lad, Leighton's out with his bird. I'm not with him, lad. He's not even here. So I'm like, hey, you men so told it's got to be Andy and Steve, Annie. So phone's Annie, and I'm like, lads, what the fuck's out in there? He went, lad, we got them. I'm like, what do you mean you got them? What do you mean you got them? He went, lad, we give some kid a one, and he's going to put the window through. I'm like, lad, he put everyone's window through in the fucking house. He's put next door to it, tried to melt the car. It's not even their car. And he's going, oh, I'm like, lad, you cheeky guy. I'm fucking raging. And I mean proper raging. So he's going to me, oh, lad, I'm sorry. I'm like, lad, you're sorry. I'm like, where's Tatty? He's going, lad, I haven't seen her for days. I said, who's done this? He's going, lad, just me and Steve's mate. And I'm like, oh, lad, you're proper. Do you know what? You're lucky. I don't slap you, you know. And he's going, oh, I'm sorry. And then he goes to put the phone down, but he hasn't put it down properly. And some birds there. I can hear some bird laughing. And he goes, he only thinks he's on one of our kids will waste him. And, you know, oh my God. So I'm like, lad, and I can hear him talking. I'm thinking, what's he saying there? I can hear him talking. He's going, yeah, he's going, our kid is wasting me. You know, he works for our kid and that. About me. Lad, they work for me. In my head, I'm just thinking, so you know what? I don't even want to hear no more, because I'll flip. So I'll put the phone down, right? Now, I'm just in my head thinking, this is mad, this cell phone, Tatty. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, all right, mate. I said, what's going on, lads? He's like, I don't know what's going on. I said, when's the last time you seen them? He went, mate, I told him to drop me off straight away as soon as we got out. He goes, I went, the other day, he went, yeah. I said, why? He went, I just don't want to, I can't be asked him, lad. And I'm thinking, wow, something's not right here, mate. So then I get a phone call about half an hour of Leighton. And I'm like, what's happening? He goes, me lads, what's happening? He said, you just told our kids you're going to waste him. I said, no. I said, he's lucky I don't slap him. And he went, what are you speaking to him like that for? I said, like, because he is lucky I don't slap him. He went, what do you mean? So I told him, he's going, lad, he's going, no, but, you know, if you think about it though, lad, it's not really nothing to do with you. I'm like, what do you mean? It's got nothing to do with me, lad. How's it got nothing to do with me? It was my fucking limo, it's been robbed. He's like, I know, well, you should have done it then, shouldn't you? He's like, you know, lad, they're only bagheads, lad. He's like, they're only little fucking rats, lad. And you're like, you know, you're coming at us. I'm like, lad, I'm not. I said, I'm not coming at you like nothing, lad. I said, I've asked you a question, lad. I said, what happened there? I said, no, I've spoke to Connie. He said, you weren't even there, and you're so sad, that's nothing to do with you. He's like, I know, but you're going on the phones around, and you're like, you're going to do me, lad, you won't do no one in. I'm like, lad, who are you talking to? He's like, you. I said, lad, I'll fucking do you in a minute, you cheeky twat. Who are you talking to? So it just ends up like, arguing, and he goes, yeah, listen, lad, this is getting heated. I said, heated. I said, lad, who are you talking to? I said, who are you talking to like that? And he's like, all right, lad, come on. I said, lad, you owe me an apology, lad. He's like, come on, lad, yeah, I shouldn't have spoke to you like that, lad, I'm sorry about that. He said, you know, I'm just out of my bar and all that, and our kids phone me saying that you're like proper front of him. I said, lad, I said, what front handy, lad, I'm just backhands him, lad. What are you on about, lad? And he's like, lad, I don't know. He's like, lad, I'll have a word. I said, make sure you have a word with him, lad. Now, he's proper fuming. Listen, Leighton's proper fuming. And Leighton's heavy. He's an heavy kid, you know what I mean? And one-on-one, I'd absolutely waste him. I'm not even asked. I'll waste him. And I will waste him if I have to, right? Because, you know, we made an agreement, and your kid knew about the agreement. And he's getting paying little mingies, want us to do all that. Lads, you've got the wrong house and you've burned someone's couch. There's not even nothing to do with it, lad. You just think you're out bouncing down the estate like that, lad. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, I do understand that they got a little hard and that, so is it justified? Yeah, it is. But not doing it to next door's not, and not doing it to next door's car. All right, they put the windows through. It's lucky nothing else happened and all that, you know what I mean? So, as far as I'm concerned, that's just probably going to be it now. But Leighton's raging with me, right? And Leighton's a dangerous boy. He's a dangerous boy. Leighton's dangerous, you know what I mean? So, I've shrugged it off and all that, so I phoned Connor. I said, has he phoned you? Connor's like, oh, I've got off the phone to him now, lad. He said, he's just arguing with you there, where he went, I went, listen, lad, it's nothing to do with me, you know. He said, I'm out of it now, lad. He went, what? He said, lad, I'm out of it. He said, I don't want nothing to do with it, lad. He said, me and Steve are out of it, lad, all right. He's like, so just whatever, lad. He said, yeah, you won't hear a peep out of me and Steve over that, lad. He said, you know, it is what it is, lad. And, you know, Steve, lad, you know, he did get a little slap on that. He said, but the winds have gone through. He said, lad, just call it a day. He said, lad, I'm not falling out with you over it. And I'm not falling out with Leighton over it, lad. And I'm like, sound. So as far as I'm concerned now, that's it. It's done, innit? Yeah, it's done, innit? It's got to be, hasn't it? Done. Yeah, it sounds like we've all the little arguments on it now. You know, I've stood on as much as I can. I really have, but I'm going to end up falling out with my own mate over it. And I'm telling my mate I'm going to end up smacking him. And I'm telling his little brother I'm going to smacking him. And it's, I don't really want to fall out. Well, in fact, no, there's no really about it. I don't want to fall out with them over them two when they're the ones who started by robbing them in the first place, to get me. So I'm thinking, I'm going to have to go and see these tomorrow and just make sure they know this was nothing to do with me. I'm not going to phone, I'm going to go round and see them yet. There's no way I'm not. I'm going to have to defo do that. And you know what, I can't even sleep, my head's gone. And I got a text off Leighton just like being sound and that, so I thought, all right, I said, lad, leave it now. And he's wrote back, sound, mate. So that's it. So as far as I'm concerned, it's all done. All right, you've had the windows smashed. I'll go and pay for the windows and I'll go and buy her a new car if I have to, do you know what I mean? You know, as long as you don't get plod and all that, but plot of what has been called out, so I don't know what's going on with that there now. You know, Pauline, she's going to say something to plot, isn't she? Because, you know, her kid, they're not active, right? And, you know, she must know what's going on. She's not stupid. She must know that they've done something wrong, because I'm presuming that, you know, the boat on the gear and the boat pisshead, so they must have, I don't know, my head's gone. So that's it now. So I've said to this bird, yeah, go on anyway. So she's like, I'll stay in the spare room. I'm like, come on, if you want to stay, you can stay. So she's gone to bed, whatever, do you know what I mean? So I've gone to bed, and I'm just lying in bed, you know, like it's just dead quiet and dark, and I'm just thinking, mate, what the fuck happened there? So next morning gets up and that, and she's like, I want to go now. I'm like, come on, sound. So she gets off, goes home, whatever. I get to shower, I'm in the shower and all that. I'm thinking, I'm going to have to phone these, or I'm going to have to go round, or what, I'll just go round, like I said, I'm going to go round. I want to make sure I'm there, yeah. So drives to the house, listen to me now. The old gaff is cordons off. Yeah, the old house is cordons off. There's all boards on the windows and the gaff's cordons off by plod. And there's a forensic sitting there, a forensic man. And I'm just like, that is not for smashed windows. It can't be. So I flies down to the lads, you know, the lads who first put me on, who phoned me. So I'm knocking on the door, it was alright. He said, what's that? He's like, come in, mate, you're alright. I'm like, yeah, I'm alright. He said, what the fuck is that in there? He went, lad, haven't you heard what happened last night, early hours this morning? I went, no. He went, two lads burst the house, right? The Mars opened the door, they've knocked, as the Mars opened the door, they've burst past her. She's been put on the floor, one was booted in the face. Mikey's been stabbed up and Craig's been battered as well. And I'm just like, you are messing with me. He's like, nah, lad, nah, I told you knew, lad. You know, everyone's thinking it's you, lad. I'm like, are you messing? He's like, no. I'm like, what do you mean, lad? The whole estate thinks it's something to do with you, lad. And I'm like, what? Because fucking, lad, how's that anything to do with me? I said, you know, it was my gear, what he robs. And he went to me, what do you mean? I mean, what do you mean? I said, he done the minimum Rob Lemo. And he went, lad, who told you that? I mean, what do you mean he told me that? I said, lad, here's what happened. So I explained to him that them two have run out to the car, battered them and robbed the limo. And he's going to me, lad, that never happens. I mean, what do you mean that never happens? And he went, lad, that's not what happens. I went, what? And he went, do you want a brew? I said, yeah. I said, make me a brew, lad. He went, yeah, sit down, mate. I said, go on. I said, lad. He said, yeah, I'll build a joint. I'm like, go on. So I'm building the joint, sitting in the kitchen, right? And he comes in. Now, this the lad who gets bits off me. He's a sound kid. Don't get me, like I said, he's not my mate, but he's sound me. So he sits down. He went, listen, lad, whatever I say to you now, it goes no further. I'm like, of course it goes no further, lad. I said, what? He said, well, I said, there's what I got told. I got told that them two were in the car. They went to see someone. Them two have ran out, battered the pair of them for nothing and robbed the limo. And he goes to me, lad, that never even happened, lad. None of that happened, you know. I went, so what did happen? Oh my God, listen to this, right? He went, Pauline was going to the shop, right? Now where the shop is, it's like you've got to cross over a little bit of grass and there's a main road. So when you walk back around, you walk round the railings and walk back and there's a main road and then there's another little side street, right? So what's happened is, them two pair of bellends, right? Them two pair of bellends and the estate, they've been in the car taking their own one and they've nearly ran Pauline over. So when Pauline's been like, hey lad, they've been absolutely leathering out the window and threw a Mackey's sauce out of the barbecue sauce all over it and got off, right? So then about 2 hours later, they've come back on the estate and parked up over the road, not knowing where she lives or who she is. And the Pauline must have said, there's that car. So then them two have out and wasted them. That's what they got wasted for. That's what they got fucking wasted for throwing barbecue sauce on an old woman and giving her proper grief. That's what they got wasted for. Nothing to do with that. So I'm thinking, no way. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means they never even got the limo robbed. That means they robbed me for the limo, doesn't it? And they just threw that in there to keep the limo. And that's why Tatty didn't want nothing to do with it. Oh my God, it's just all gone into place like Connect 4. It's all gone into place, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe what I'm listening to now. I'm like, lad, how sure are you? He's going to me, lad, ask anyone. I said, yeah. I said, there's next door in. Now, next door, Roy's some fella. He's proper sound. And he's like, lad, yeah. I said, go and bring him in. He's like, all right. So he knocks on the door. Roy comes in. Now, listen, Roy is an hard fella. Roy is one of them fellas who's like just proper scouser, like sits in the bookies all day with his little pen and just doesn't move and then like, you know, throws like fucking fivers on horses. He's not a liar. I've known him my whole life, literally my whole life. And I'm like, what happened there? And he told me. I said, how do you know? He went, because I spoke to Pauline. I said, yeah. He went, she showed me where all the sauce was. Oh my God, you cheeky, you little rat, now see that disrespect and lies is what's caused all of this. So gets up from there, right, and I'm raging, but I don't want to go all in, I need to listen to what's happened here, right. So they've stabbed him up, right, they booted the door through, well not booted through, she's opened it, they barged past there, they booted Pauline in the face, an old woman, imagine the damage, she's in hospital, he's been stabbed, he's in hospital, and he's been battered, he's in hospital, and the house is all boarded up, right, and they've got forensics out there, because he's been stabbed up, yeah. Oh my God, for what? For lies, for disrespect and lies. They've done this just to take limo, just for another limo. Are you messing? Are you fucking messing with me? And listen to this, they've come to my house to get more limo, right? And been standing there looking me in the face. Look what they've done to me, look how cheeky that is. No wonder Tatty wanted nothing to do with it, right? Tatty's not like that, Tatty's not a rat, and I never knew they was, but they are the rats right now. Leighton, who's done this? It can't be Leighton, I can't see it being Leighton doing that. So who's done it? Who are the people who've done it? Who are these two people who've burst the gaff and all that? I need to find out, right? So I thought, you know what? I'm going to have to go all in here, right? I'm not like in that way, but I'm going to have to sort it out. So I phoned my other mate at a different circle, right? And these are proper heavy. So I'm like, lad, what's happening? Like, what's happening, mate? You're all right, long time no speak. I said, are you about? He's like, yeah, where are you? They're in the cafe. I said, where? So he told me they were about, they weren't too far from mine. I said, you know, when you had your scan, I said, any chance you can come to mine? I'm like, you're just exactly the people I need. He's like, everything all right, lad? I said, not really. He's like, yeah, Sam, mate, yeah. We're done in a minute. We'll fly down. So I was there on the way down, right? Now, for them to get to me from where they was, and for Leighton and Annie to get me from there was, the three heavies would be quicker, do you know what I mean? So I phoned Leighton's like, what's happening, lad? I said, what's happening, lad? So I'm talking to him, and he's talking to me normal, not like as if nothing's happened. So I don't even know whether he knows about it, or something's going on, I don't know who it is or what, but it doesn't seem like it's him to me. So I said, do me a favour, Ian, will you and Andy come to mine? He's like, yeah. I said, where's Andy? Went, he come to mine last night. I said, did he? He said, what time? He said, Bells, lads. I said, did he? Yeah. I said, what was he like? He went, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean? He's like, oh, no, not sound. I said, oh, yeah. I said, all right. He went, he was all blacked out. I said, was he? Yeah. I said, was he? Yeah. I said, yeah. He said, why? I said, what's he done? He went, I don't know. I said, he's been robbing cars or something like that. I said, he lad, yeah. I said, all right, do me a favour. I've been trying to keep it racing. I'm raging. I'm proper raging. I know it's got something to do with him. And I'm saying, oh my God, you little rat. So I'm trying my best to just keep it together where I don't give the game away. Do you know what I'm saying? So then it rings Connor. I'm like, what's on? He's like, what's on, lad? I said, what are you up to? He said, I said, come to mine. He said, why? I said, where's your Steve? He went, I'm not with him, lad. I said, where is he? He went, I don't know, lad. He said, he went out last night doing something, lad, robbing cars and all that. I said, was he, lad? Yeah. Was he? Yeah. Okay. I said, then I've seen him since. He's like, no. I said, can you get hold of me? He went, I'll try now. I said, try and get hold of him, bring me back. He's like, what's up? I said, nothing, lad, nothing. I'm just having a little sit-off in mine a minute. I said, you know, I've asked Leighton to come round as well. And Andy, he's like, oh, yeah, Sam. Now, Connor's nothing to do with it. Listen, Connor's nothing to do with it. No, he's not. And by the looks of it, Leighton's nothing to do with it. Now, in my head, what I can think of it is, Andy and Steve have gone round to do that, to try and put them to bed so this doesn't come out. Now, what you are thinking out of that, I'll never know. But I can only imagine that when they've come out of mine, Tathy's just been like, lads, drop me off. I don't want nothing to do with this. Because if he finds out you've done that, watch what he does. And they must have panicked then, do you know what I mean? And just been like, And then when that's gone on with the windows and all that, you know what I mean? And my reaction to it, they must have just thought, oh my God, if he finds out that we've done all this and it's all our fault, he's going to proper waste us, you know what I mean? So we're going to have to go and do them or something. You know, just that stupid mentality where rather than just saying, listen, here's what I've done, we're sorry, and taking hiding for it, they've probably gone inside to put people to bed for it. Do you know what I mean? Or something. It's looking like that to me, isn't it? It's looking like that to me because they haven't gone there because they waste them, because they deserve to get wasted, and they'll know they deserve to get wasted because some of them that's today, Mark, they've done the same. So it's not like that. It's not like they're in doubt over, oh, we should do that. They know exactly what they've done and they know they deserved it, right? So what they've done now, they're trying to backtrack, aren't they? There's no way they're not. So these three heavies come to mind, comes in, I'm like, what's happening now? No one's here yet. I said, there's what I wanted to do for me. Go and sit in the garden for me, mate. They're like, yeah, I said, yeah, there's a brandy, there's a stripe. Like, what's going on? So I'm trying to fill him in a little bit, and they're just like, lad, are you messing? I'm like, nah. And he's going like, Conor and Leighton, their sounds. I'm like, lad, I know the sounds. I said, they've been tricked, lad. Lad, we've all been tricked. Listen, it's Andy and Steve. And I was telling them about Tathy, and they were just like, no way, because they know them, but they don't know the younger ones, but they know Leighton and Conor, they know they're the brothers, do you know what I mean? And he's going, what do you want us to do? I said, lad, just stand there, because I'm going to have to end up wasting Leighton or Conor or someone. I'm going to have to waste someone, lad. Someone needs wasting, lad. This can't just happen. So they're like, lads, it must be hard for you. And I'm like, lad, they've wasted me mate. They put this fucking poor woman in Aussie. They've stabbed me mate up and put me other mate in Aussie, lad, for nothing. Because they threw barbecue sauce at the man. Lad, she's about 65, lad. She was only going to the shop. Lads, what, you know, imagine that was my man or your man. And he's going to me, lad, I put them night. I'm like, lad, I know you would. Yeah, I know you would. And they're lucky they only got wasted, lad. Someone threw barbecue sauce on my man, mate, inside of an ovens and all that. I would fucking, honest to God, it's a 50-50 to go night, and that's the end of it. Conor and Andy turn up, I'm like, what's happening, lads? You know, proper straight weight, like, what's happening, lads? All right, so, and he's looking at me, and I know he knows something, because I can tell by the way he's looking at me, but he doesn't know, and I'm keeping a straight face. So I've got them standing in the living room, like, yeah, I'll just wait for Leighton and Steve, because I don't want them to see them, because they might try and scatter, and what my goal is to get everyone in the garden and lock the garden doors, you know, the patio doors and that, so they can't go nowhere. So I'm just waiting there, so they're just in the garden. Now where my house is, it's like a big house, so you couldn't see the garden, you know what I mean? There's like the living room, and then there's the dining room, and then there's the kitchen, and then there's, you know what I mean? So they wouldn't be able to see that. So Conor and Steve turn up, right? And he opens the door, they come in, I'm like, what's happening, right, lads, everyone here, come in the garden. So, Steve and Andy, Dave, you can see that something's wrong, but Conor isn't, and Leighton isn't, they're just normal. So I come out then, lads, what's happening, lads, having a joint barbecue, what are we doing, lads, you know what I mean? So I know it's not to do with them. So as he walks outside, Conor walks out first, then Leighton, and then Steve and Andy, and as he goes, I just locks the back door, right, turns round, and says, you sit down now. So Conor and Leighton like, lad, I said, lad, listen, you need to understand what's going on here. So because they've seen my other three mates, they know quite well that we're not messing around. And listen, they won't say a peep to these. They will not say a peep to these. Listen, let me tell you right now. So Leighton is just like looking at me and saying, wow, what's happening here? Yeah, and Conor's like, what's happening? I'm like, lad, you need to hear what's going on here, you know. And they're like, lad, what? So I said, do you know what them two done last night? you were blacked up last night, yeah, and you were blacked up last night, where was you? And they were like, went to rob a car. I said, what car? Where's the car? Where was you robbing cars? No, we never got one. I said, you never got one. I said, now, I'm going to tell you what these have done, lad, right? And I don't know what we're going to do, but something's going to happen, lad. So, Leighton's just like, lad, what do you mean? What's happening here? I said, lad, here's what they've done. Last night, here's what they've done. They've gone back to their house, right? They've knocked on the door. They've booted the door through. The Mars fell over. One of them booted the Mar in the face. They've stabbed him up and they put all of them in hospital. The Mar and them, both of them. And he's going to me, what? I said, lad, now do you want to hear the funny part? That never happened, what they told. And they've just gone, right? So Leighton kind of like, what do you mean, lad? I'm like, here's what happened. So I said, lad, I'm going to give you one chance to tell the truth now, lad. I'm going to give you one chance to tell the truth now. And you know, if you don't tell me the truth, lad, none of you two are going to get out of here alive. And I promise you that right now. And you know, your brothers, they won't say a word neither because they won't need it. Now, I was flexing because I had to flex. Because if they jump up, they'll get put out as well. The four of them, I'm not going to say I'll do them, but I will batter the four of them now if I have to, and so will my mates. We will absolutely batter them four right now if we have to. I don't want to, but we will if we have to. Make no fucking mistake about it. Now start talking, lad. Sit there now and start talking. You sit there, start talking and tell your fucking brothers what you've done. Yeah? And I'm thinking in my head, Leighton and Connor are going to absolutely just batter these two now. There's no way they're not. So I said, are you going to tell me? He's like, lad. I said, listen to me, lad. I said, stop stuttering. I said, I'm going to ask you one more time, right? I'm going to fucking make you talk. Lad, are you going to see what happens? And like, yeah. I said, go. So, and he's like, well, here's what happened, right? And just said the exact same story, what that fella told me and what next door Roy told me as well, right? And Connor is just looking at me as if to say, lads. And I'm like, and there you go, lad. They never even done nothing wrong. They never robbed no letters. And they come back to mine. He got another log of limo as well, you know, lad. Walking in me fucking house like I'm some little muppet. And you know what? I couldn't contain myself. Just gone bang. And just dropped down. He like, you cheeky little swat. Oh, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing your brother can do about it. I said, you told me your brother's going to waste me as well, didn't you? I said, what are you going to waste me, lad? And he's like, nah, lad, nothing to do with me, that lad. He went, listen, lad. Fucking hell, I didn't know. He said, you know, lad, you can't start looking at me like I'm something to do with this, lad. He said, you know me, lad, you're my good mate, lad. I wouldn't have had a fucking battered him if I'd have known that, lad. He said, I'd have fucking battered him, lad. So I mean, and Leighton and Connor there just like, lad, they're fuming. So then Steve just got a crack as well off Connor. And, you know, they've just been smacked all over the garden, the pair of them, like, not heavy, but heavy, like heavy enough, do you know what I mean? So the three heavies are standing there like that, and Connor and Leighton are just like, lad, listen to me now. I'm like, listen to me now. I said, they want dough, lad. I said, they fucking want dough. I said, listen, look what you've done to them. I said, lad, you better get some fucking dough. You and you, whatever you two have got, I want every fucking penny you've got, right? And you don't need dough for the limo as well, right? You don't need dough for 2 hours. I want the fucking money for the 2 hours today. Do you understand me? Lad, you're lucky I don't do this, I don't do that. Listen, I'm proper raging, right? And I mean proper raging, right? You have done this. What you're trying to do, kill them. You've tried to kill them so they don't know the story. You've tried to put that family, terrorise that family, and next door neighbour. Lads, what, just gone bang again? Oh, listen, I'm fucking raging. So there's just bleeding, there's blood everywhere, broken nose, one of them broke the jaw. We've just absolutely give it to them right now. I'm not being funny, but it's the lucky, that's all he got, mate. You know, and you walked into my house, lad. You walked in somehow, even your mate didn't want nothing to do with it. You walked and took more lime off me like I'm some fucking little dickhead, lad. Do you think I'm a dickhead, lad? He's like, no. I'm like, do you think I'm a fucking dickhead, lad? No. Do you think I'm a fucking dickhead, lad? No. What are you playing at then? And they're just like, oh, lad, we're sorry. And the three heavies are just like, you are messing you know. And I'm like, you know, these three are lads? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, my mates, lads. I said, you know, if I say to them now, you go night. And he's like, I don't know. And the three IVs, they're just like looking at them and just say, lads, I'll fucking happily put him night now all if you want me to, lads. What do you want us to do, lads? I'm like, no, lad, no. So Connor, give Connor the due, right? Connor was raging. He's just absolutely just smacked Steve everywhere. And Anthony, Connor smacked both of them. Leighton smacked, they've been proper battered all over the garden, you know what I mean? But that's still not going to change none. It's not going to change none, yeah. Do you understand what you could have caused? Do you understand what you have caused and what the damage you've done to that family, lad? For nothing at all. For nothing at all, lad. Bouncing around this, who do you think you are? Do you know what I mean? And listen, we've had them there for about, honestly, I've not even met for about an hour, just smacking them everywhere. Just not like with weapons and all, but just open hand slap, just smacking every bit of ego they had at them, do you know what I mean? Brought them right back down to there, just like bam, bam, smack, smack. I was just smacking them at will, do you know what I mean? And Connor is well, Leighton, they're just getting smacked everywhere. Just around much they've lied to the brothers as well, do you know what I mean? Look what they could have caused. Look what they could have caused, right? So we've come to an arrangement and I want every penny you've got, right? I want every penny you've got. Now, these have got Joe, so we've ended up getting like 18 grand off one and like 13 grand off the other, do you know what I mean? So there's like, you know, we're finally got like a little 31 grand. That 31 grand, right? I'm taking 2 of it, right? 29 grand. Connor, Steve, what? We need another grand, yeah? And Leighton's like, yeah, I'll throw in as well, yeah? Lad, let's get them fucking that. So we want 30 grand, right? So we've got 30 grand for that family. I know it's not a lot, but they're getting that fucking dough. And you know what? You're taking it to them. You're taking it to them and you're saying sorry, yeah? So they're like, all right, lad, sound, lad, is that it now? Is that it, lad? You look at them fucking stab you both up, lad. So they're just like, oh, lad, listen, lad, sorry. I said, you know what, lad? You know, if I ever see any of you two again, right? You know, if I ever see any of you two again, whether it be in town, whether it be in the street, I want to fucking batter the pair of you, you understand me? And they're like, yeah, lad, yeah. And I'll get the fuck out of my house, lad, for the wastes. So Conor and Leighton is like, oh, lad, I'm sorry about that. I'm like, I know, lad, I know. Listen, it wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault. They're not to blame. They're my good mates, I mean. So there's Danny Shea Cook and all that sound, mate, sound. So we're still sound to this day over that, right? The 3 Ivies are just like, fucking hell, that was some entertainment that we don't need in the cafe. Because they're funny like that's nothing to them. So they've got off on that now. About 2 weeks later, drives past the house again and all the windows are back in and the lads, they're all out of Aussie and all that. So I didn't want to knock, but then I thought, you know what, I am going to knock. So I phone out, I'm like, where's the 30 grand? Like, I've got it, like, going to come and get it now. So goes up, gets the 30 grand, puts in the bag and all that. Goes to the house and knocks on the house. What I've done is I thought, shit, what about next door? So they've lost, the car was insured on it. So I thought I'll give them 25 and I'll give next door 5 grand, you know what I mean? It's only right, you can't start doing that. People, 25 grand is enough to cover the windows. Yeah, the windows, the house is probably insured, so they got to, it's a bit of compensation, and whatever compensation they get anyway from being stabbed. I mean, but in Aussie, it's criminal, isn't it? So they're not grasses, they haven't grassed on no one and all that. So I'm just like, so I took 5 grand out the bag, and I've knocked on the door with a bag with 25 grand in it. So the ma opens the door, Paul opens the door, and she's like, why are you here? I said, listen, that's got nothing to do with me. So then them two have come running out, I'm like, lads, and you can just like, lad, I'm like, listen to me, lad, here's what I was, let me come in a minute, and let me just tell you what's going on there. I said, it was nothing to do with me, I swear it, and he was going to know me to him, because I spoke to, the kid who I went to with the limo, and we spoke to Roy as well, so they live on the same, like, in the same place, so they must have told him that I was raging and all this and all that, so up until that though, they must have thought that was something to do with me, right, you know what I mean, but the ma was being, like, she was being funny with me, which is understandable, but how's that got anything to do with me, I didn't even know, and I said to him, lads, I was sitting there, and, I've said, yeah, there's 25 grand in cash for you, right, for your compensation for your windows and all that. And they're like, nice one, lad, nice one. I said, listen, now, I've been there for about 3.5 hours talking to them on the kitchen table, do you know what I mean? And we've sorted it all out and all that, it's all been sorted. And the ma's like, I knew it had nothing to do with you, love. She went, I said this to them. I said, lad, when I first phoned you up, why didn't you just tell me that that's what happened? He went, lad, I thought you knew. He said, I thought that you were like saying to me that I shouldn't have done what I did, even though they've done that to me ma. He said, lad, it made me flip, because like, I thought you loved my ma. I'm like, lad, I do love your ma. So from his point of view, because he's been off his banner and bladders, whatever, he's thought that I'm sticking up for them, even though I knew what they'd done to his ma. I said, lad, I asked you, did you rob me? He said, lad, I didn't even hear that. He said, I didn't know what the fuck you were on about, lad. He said, I was off my ban, lad. He said, I was still fuming and all that. He said, I didn't hear you say that to me, lad. And I'm like, lad, then you've jumped off on me and all that, telling me and all that. He went, lad, I'm like, lad, yeah, there's me and there's me. So I've given him a hug, right? And I'm just like, do you know what, I can't believe that I've given the man a proper big hug, right? And you know what, mate, I've given the other mate a hug, right? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to go now. There's the door, right? So then went next door, I've knocked on next door, and they've opened the door. I said, what happened to your windows and all that? They're like, I don't know, mate, I think it was just kids and all that. I said, yeah. I said, well, you know what, mate? I said, this is a bit of a mad one. I said, yeah, I've got that bag for you. And he went, what is it? I said, yeah, have a look. He's opened the door, he's like, as if to say, why, like, you know what I mean, that's a lot of money to someone, and he's going, but, I said, listen, that's for a new car, and your window's alright, I'll see you later. He's like, but, I said, don't ask no questions, yeah, and he's like, alright mate, he there sound, and I've got off and all that, and then, that's the end of it. But listen to me now, you see that, right? Think about how far someone will go to hard lies. Think about how much someone will disrespect someone and lie. Think about what you've done. Think about the trouble, the carnage, and, you know, the pain. And, you know, imagine that woman was scared shitless out of her fucking mind. When they're in the right, they didn't even do nothing wrong. Do you know what I mean? So, it all worked out all right in the end. Like, they got a bit of dough and all that, and everyone's back to normal now. I've seen them since then, and everyone's all, you know, back to normal. And I haven't seen them shoot a little rat for a while, and I think the man threw one of them out, and the other one's gone with him. So I think they're just on the county line somewhere, fucking like in Brighton or somewhere mad. You know, just got out the way for a few years, but so they should now. If I see them again, will I do something? Right now I will, yeah. Right now I will, but, you know, if you go missing for about 5 years, something like that, then I probably won't. But right now, if I see you, I'm gonna fucking smack you on the spot, and that's it. The shit you have done to them people, mate. You know what I mean? I know these people. I grew up with these people, and you've done that, and you knew it as well. You fucking knew the relationship I had with them as well, and you weren't asked, right? Tatty's still on the scene. He's proper sound him, and I know what, I respect him, because he was just like, I don't want nothing to do with this, you know, and that's why he didn't want to get out the car. He was just with them and didn't want nothing to do with it, and he wouldn't even drop him off. He was going, lad, I asked him to drop me off before he even come to yours, lad. He said, I'm not getting tired like that, lad. He said, you know about it? He went, lad, I did know about it. He said, but what am I supposed to do? I respect that, because he is the mate. So he's not going to come to me and be like, listen, what my mates have done. He's a grass, innit? The way it worked out, he just wanted nothing to do with it, and that was that. You see what I'm saying? So that's it then, that's the story, right? That's disrespect and lies, and, you know, it's a bit of a tough pill to swallow, isn't it? It's heavy, that, but the fucking lens, that little rat will go to, mate, just to, like, to hide what really happens, or to hide the truth, you know what I mean? So think about it, could have been much worse, couldn't it? So that's it, yeah. And that was an early morning one. That was an early morning story for you. So I hope that started your day off right with a bang. Right? Have a good day when you're in work or whatever you're doing, or if you're getting ready to take the kids to school or whatever, yeah. Scouser out.